Awesome. Okay, we'll get started because we've got quite a few people on already. So thank you all for coming, and I'm really excited to be here tonight. I'm Laura, if you don't know me, from Milkbar, and I'm lucky to have with me tonight Tam from Sleepwork. So we're going to pick Tam's brain tonight a little bit about her awesome knowledge and tips that she's got for us on baby sleep, because we all know that at times we can all need a little bit more sleep.
We sure do.
So Tam's a certified baby consultant. She also does toddler sleep consultants, and she's based here in the Waikato. So Tam's experience is amazing. She's got a huge background in nannying. She's done world-class training in the sleep realms of babies and toddlers, and basically there's no problem that she hasn't been able to tackle. She's had huge success with some of her clients, and it's just her bread and butter. Loves it from talking to her.
I do, yes.
Very passionate.
Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us again
That's
today.
awesome. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to share all my sleep tips with you, and hopefully you can take away some awesome tips tonight and put some positive sleep techniques into place tomorrow, guys. So my talk's around how to get more rest for yourself and for your baby. So REST, and the R stands for rituals. So wind down rituals, these are your pre-nap and bedtime rituals. I think lots of parents naturally do them anyway, and you've probably got something in place already. But for the parents that don't know what they are or haven't got anything in place, a wind down ritual is something that needs to be calm, quiet and predictable. So a great example of a wind down ritual would be having a nice warm bath, popping baby, maybe having a baby massage, and then into PJs and swaddle or sleeping bag, depending on what your baby is sleeping in, and then having some stories or quiet songs, and then into the cot is a really great example of a wind down ritual. So they need to be calm and quiet, especially in the evenings, so when dads want to come home and see their little ones and wrestle and tickle, and it's great, but maybe dad could do the story or do the little lullaby before bedtime instead of that tickling time, because it does wake them up, and then you might miss that sleep window and they'll go down overtired. So calm and quiet is key with wind down rituals. Predictable is another key for your wind down rituals. So I don't mean having it at the same time, because each day might flow a little bit differently, but having it each little thing in sequence. So keeping them in the same sequence will really help your little ones prepare for sleep, prepare their mind and body for sleep really. Wind down rituals are great for if you're traveling. So if you go camping, or if grandma has to have your little one, all they have to do is do that wind down ritual, and your little toddler or baby feels so relaxed and calm because they know what's coming and they can prepare for sleep really well. So I guess that's enough about wind down rituals. Actually one more thing. So how long should it be? Before naps, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes, and for bedtime a little bit longer, especially for toddlers. So anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes for a toddler's wind down, just so they can let go of the day and just relax and spend that one-on-one time with mum and dad. Toddlers especially really enjoy it. One more thing, it has to be in their bedroom. So I don't know if you've ever taken a toddler from the lounge room where you've done the wind down into their bedroom, and it always ends in tears. So keeping it in their actual bedroom where they're sleeping is really key for wind down rituals. RE, so E is for environment, so creating the optimal sleep environment is key with sleep. It's really important, and you probably know lots of these anyway, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper into why we suggest these things for your sleep environment and why they're so important in supporting healthy sleep for your little ones. So sleep environment for newborns is safe, so we all know that. It's a firm, flat surface with no cot bumpers, no loose blankets, cuddlies, loveys, that kind of thing. That's key for newborns. And the next key element is having it dark. So in the night time, your babies release this hormone called melatonin, and it's more readily available if the room is super dark. If it's too light or not dark enough, it'll block that melatonin and it will naturally start waking your baby up. So that's why we suggest that you keep your room really dark. And a great way to check is go into your little one's bedroom, draw the curtains, shut the door, and it's called the book test. So open a book, and if you can see the words inside that book, the room's not dark enough. So you need to get some blackout blinds up, or roll up some towels and pop them across the top of the window or underneath the door. Sometimes Dad might go to the loo and leave the light on, and that little slither of light underneath the door is just enough at 5 a.m. to wake your little one up. So it's really important to keep the room dark for your little ones. White noise is another one. I know you're probably thinking newborns, but white noise works right up to the first year. So the first 12 months, white noise is really awesome. It needs to be quite loud, so thinking the loudness of a running shower. So if you go in and turn the shower on, it needs to be that loud when playing white noise, and it needs to be like quite a deep rumble. So you can get all sorts of different sounds of white noise, but as long as it's a deeper rumble and a continual loop. So if it's crashing waves and that sort of thing, it's not going to do the right job. It triggers that calming reflex, and it helps our babies link their sleep cycles. So it's really important, especially with little ones, to have white noise. When your little ones get a bit older, white noise can be like a buffer. So if you've got toddlers or really loud birds outside the house in the morning at 5 a.m, that white noise can just buffer off that noise and help them stay asleep, sleep longer in the morning, linking sleep cycles. It's really brilliant, white noise. And another key factor is temperature. So the optimal sleep temperature is around 16 to 20 degrees, but in the middle, 18 degrees is really good. It supports the sleep, so it supports the production of melatonin if the room is a little bit cooler. So in the winter, we sleep a lot better. The room is dark and it's a little bit cooler, so we sleep a little bit longer and it's more restorative. So keeping that temperature to support healthy sleep is really great as well. Ari, yes. Hello.
Hey guys.
Sleep windows. So S stands for sleep windows and schedules. Sleep windows are a biological sleep window that your baby starts to develop these sleep windows at around 8 weeks of age. These sleep windows are the perfect time for your baby to fall asleep. So that melatonin, that sleepy hormone that I keep talking about, that starts rising in conjunction with a body temperature dip, and it makes for the perfect storm, shall we say, for your baby to fall asleep. So if you pop your little one down within these biological sleep windows, they'll settle to sleep better, and they'll sleep for longer, and they're more likely to link their sleep cycles. So these sleep windows are 9 and 10, 12 and 2, and there's one at night time between 6 and 7. So if you can try and get your little one napping within these sleep windows, it's really better. Settling will be so much easier. I can't stress enough about the biological sleep windows. That's why we suggest the schedules that we do here at SleepWorks, because we follow your baby's natural biological sleep windows and what they naturally want to do, making sleep training easier, and your baby sleeps a lot better, which is great. We're going to go on to next toddler and baby and newborn schedules. So the ideal schedule for a toddler is around 7 to 7. I like for toddlers. It goes with their circadian rhythm, and it's really achievable for a toddler, 7 to 7. Babies, I like 6:30 to 6:30 is really good for babies. And newborns, there's not really any push to pop a newborn on a schedule. You don't need to rush it. But if you wanted to start to get some sort of flow to your day, 6 weeks you could start something. 12 weeks is a really great age to start a routine, and you could do 6 o'clock to 6:30 is a great schedule to follow if you're wanting some sort of flow for your newborn or 12-week-old. And with nap schedules, so when you're thinking about awake windows for your babies, you need to have their feed, play, and their wind down rituals that I talked about earlier within their awake window. So if you've got a 4-month-old and they can stay awake for around 2 hours, you want to have their feed, their play and their wind down within that time. So you might get to an hour and a half of awake time, and then baby starts showing tired signs, so you'll move into the room and do your wind down ritual, and then by 1 hour 45, baby's in the cot and starting to fall asleep. So you're not putting baby down overtired, and you're fitting in that wind down ritual so that they know to fall asleep, that it's time for sleep, and they start preparing their mind and body for sleep, which is really awesome. Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you miss that sleep window, it's really hard to settle an overtired baby, and it takes a lot more effort. And then sometimes they'll just fight it completely, and you have to give up and reset. But it's important to catch them before they get overtired. So just a couple of schedules for nap schedules. So like I said, a 4-month-old can do around 2 hours of awake time, and ideally 3 naps a day, sometimes 4 depending on how long or how well that lunchtime nap's going. And bedtime needs to be 4 hours from the end of that second nap. So they'll still have a third top-up nap in the evening, but bedtime generally needs to be 4 hours from the end of nap 2, and this prevents them from becoming overtired, and settling again is a lot easier. 5-month-olds, we're on 3 naps. They can handle about 2 hours and 20 minutes of awake time, and again that 4-hour rule applies there as well with the 5-month-olds. 6-month-olds is 3 naps a day, 2.5 hours of awake time now, which has jumped a little bit, and that 4-hour rule applies again there. So just making sure baby gets down 4 hours from the end of nap 2 until they're going to bed with their wind down in place. 8 to 12-month-olds, it changes here, so we drop down to 2 naps, but it drops down to 2 naps somewhere between 7 and 8 months. So somewhere between 7 and 8 months you'll drop that third nap of the day, and when that happens, so your baby might be on a 6:30 to 6:30 schedule, and they might just have turned 8 months, and so you're ready to drop that third nap of the day. What you would do is you would bring bedtime forward, so it might even be 6 o'clock for a week or 2 to help with that transition, and help baby cope with that transition, and then over that time you could slowly push it back to 6:30. And they are on 2 naps a day with 2.5 hours of awake time, and that 4-hour rule still applies right up until 12 months. So it's a great rule of thumb to remember, that 4 hours. So if the lunch nap didn't go so well, or if they woke early, just remember you need to adjust bedtime, just so they're not going down overtired. It's really, really, really important, because if they do go down overtired, they're probably going to wake an hour after they've gone down, and if they don't wake then, that they might wake every 2 hours in the night, just due to being overtired and cortisol levels being high. So it's really it's really important to catch them. And the T is for training. So when you talk about sleep training, I guess you'd put all these things I've spoken about into place, and there are some babies that you will put the things that I've just spoken about into place, and that's all they needed. Just a tiny tweak, maybe their awake window needed extending just 15 minutes, or they weren't hitting their biological sleep window, and you shifted them a little bit, and bingo, everything's fine. And there are some babies that just need a little tweak, and it all falls into place. And then you've got a couple of the other spectrum where they need a little bit more digging to find out if there's anything else in play, and that's where we would look at their milk and their solids intake, what they're eating, how much they're eating, and when they're eating. So when you're talking about solids, protein especially, so babies that have started solids need around 25 to 50 grams of protein a day to support healthy sleep. So if they're not getting that, then this can cause them to wake up with what's called a hypoglycemic dip. It's just a blood sugar dip, and it releases adrenaline and wakes your baby up. So making sure they're getting the right solids at the right time is really key as well. Lunchtime is the best time to offer protein. So keeping that protein at lunchtime. If you offer it at night time, what it can do is it can cause your baby to wake with tummy upsets, just because it's a bit difficult for them to digest it when they're so little. So until about 10 months, just keeping that protein at lunchtime will help stop any nighttime wake ups due to a sore tummy digesting their food. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, before you do sleep training, we would take a holistic approach. We would look at everything in your baby's life that would support healthy sleep and to get them sleeping. And then once we've got all of that in place, then we would choose a sleep training method. So what you might choose might be different from what your girlfriend might choose. What it might look like for you might be being right next to the cot, being able to pat and shush baby, pick baby up and give a little cuddle and pop back into the crib, and your girlfriend might prefer something a little bit more spaced, a little bit sort of check-in, timed check-ins, that sort of thing. So it really depends on your parenting style, and your baby's temperament is a huge factor. Another factor, if you were to put all these things in place and then still looking for some sleep training, would be your sleep associations. So if you are rocking to sleep, that kind of thing. So lots of parents find themselves, rocking a 10-month-old baby, and it can get really tiring and your back can get really sore. But what I would suggest is that you would still be doing an in-the-room technique with a sleep association like that. You wouldn't want to remove yourself fully and too quickly from a baby that had been used to being rocked to sleep. Purely because it's just a bit mean, really, and they just need time to adjust. Absolutely, they just need time to adjust, and I think it runs far smoother if mum can stay in the room and do a bit of in-the-room sleep training. If you have a very strong sort of rock to sleep or feed to sleep association, it works much better if you stay in the room. But I hope that you will be able to take away some of those tips and put them into place tomorrow and get some better sleep happening for your babies.
Yeah, she's available as well for 15-minute free consults if you feel like after watching this and having a bit of a chat that it would be quite beneficial for you to seek a little bit more advice and a bit more help if there's a bit more detail that Tam sort of needed to get your full answer across. And
there's always more details needed, I'm sorry. There really is always more details needed. We take such a holistic approach and look at absolutely every aspect of your child's sleep, and you really need to. You have to look at everything to make the perfect sleep environment. It's really essential. But I think I'd just like to say, one plug I guess for sleep consultants is that you can get a lot of your information from books, and there's lots of great knowledge and great things out there, like in Weisbluth and Ferber are also great books. But having a sleep consultant means that you get the help with the days that just fall off, the wheels fall off and you don't quite know what to do, and that's where we jump in and save the day really, and keep you on track and keep you motivated and be your cheerleader. Because it's really hard when you're sleep deprived and you don't really know where to turn and what the right thing is to do. So I will help you if you need it.
Awesome. Thank you. So we will sort of stop those there, and Tam will give you the answers if you haven't, and I am sorry if you didn't get your one answered live, but it will get answered. And thank you, Tam, for coming along and giving us your time on a Friday night.
Awesome. I'm not doing anything, honestly. I'm a mum. I'm just at home.
But I know I definitely took some things away, like particularly with my two littlest and littler. So awesome. That was really cool, and I hope you guys all took something away as well, and especially if you got your question answered. Hope there's something for you to try, and as Tam said, jump in and give it a try tomorrow. So thanks again, and thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for having me.